So let's take a look at this question. A herd of 200 rabbits is introduced to a new area. It is predicted that the herd will grow by 25% each year. Write a numerical expression for the predicted population of rabbits after 20 years. Now, what this question is sort of asking us to do is it wants us to work out what kind of pattern might be existing here in terms of how we might calculate the population of rabbits each year, and then extend that out a little bit to go, well, what's an expression that we can use to quickly calculate the population of rabbits after 20 years? So let's break this up. Let's look at year 0. Year 0 being right now, how many rabbits are there? Well, there's 200 rabbits. Now, we know that the population of rabbits is going to increase by 25% each year. So at year 1, we're going to have our initial population, our year 0 population of 200, but we're going to increase it by 25%. So essentially what we're going to have is 125% of the population that we had at year 0. So to work that out, we would need to multiply by 125%, or multiply by 1.25. Now, when we do that, we will find that we've got approximately 250 rabbits. Now, at this point, I'm not necessarily worried about how many rabbits I have at this, but I'm looking at how did I actually calculate it, which was this step here. That 200 multiplied by my 125%, or by my 1.25. Now, for year 2, what's going to happen in year 2 is it's going to increase by another 25%. So those 250 rabbits is going to increase by another 25%. So it's going to be 125% or 1.25 multiplied by my 250 rabbits. But if I think about this, to get that 250, what I actually had to do was I had to take my initial population of 200, I had to multiply by 1.25 to get to my year 1 value. And now to get to my year 2 value, I've got to increase it by 25% again. I've got to multiply by my 1.25 again. Now, instead of writing this 1.25 times 1.25, I can rewrite this to say, well, it's my initial population multiplied by 1.25 squared. Now, I'm not 100% sure what this would be. I think it's about 312, 313, I think it's 312.5. Can't have half a rabbit, obviously. But this is how you would work out a numerical expression to work out how many rabbits you would have at year 2. Well, let's consider year 3. Well, at year 3, you would take the population that you'd had at year 2, which we found through this. So this 200 times 1.25 all squared. And then you would increase that again by another 25%. So you would multiply again by 1.25. But of course, you can start to see a pattern that's occurring here. You can see that we've got this initial population, and we're multiplying it by this 1.25, this time to the power of 3. So you can see here at year 0, it was just the initial population. At year 1, it was the initial population multiplied by 1.25. Year 2, it was the initial population multiplied by 1.25 squared. At year 3, it was the initial population multiplied by 1.25 cubed. So what we can accentuate to say here is, well, at year 20, how would we go about calculating it? Well, following this pattern that I can see occurring, we would take the initial population and we would multiply it by my 125% or 1.25, the amount that's growing by, but we would put it to the power of the year. So it would put it to the power of 20. And what we've now done here is we've written a numerical expression for the predicted population of rabbits after 20 years, just in here.